For over 40 years, I have been coaching women to better fitness levels, to optimize and become the best version of themselves. Over 40 years, and one idea keeps lingering in the background that we are not addressing. It's the idea of V02 Max. What is it? How can it improve? What can we do about it? How does it impact us? It's been a lingering question. Why aren't more trainers, coaches, why aren't we introducing this to our clients? Because currently, right now, it's getting a lot of press. Dr. Peter Attia brought it to our attention that it is the number one predictor of longevity. Now, 15 years ago, I started poking around VO2 because I wanted to PR in a half marathon. And I knew that VO2 represented the volume, that's the V, of oxygen, that's the O2. VO2 max represented the volume of oxygen that I was uptaking muscularly, and it could show me where the gaps in my training would be so that I could PR for my half marathon. And I did in fact use it. I took my first VO2 test about 15 years ago. I looked at my performance over the VO2, how much oxygen was I uptaking every minute, and where was my threshold, and what was my nervous system doing when I started increasing the intensity on the exercise. And through a customized program that I've since developed, I was able to put my personalized, customized training program together that allowed me to PR in a half marathon. I found those gaps where I was hitting the wall, and I was able to train underneath that. And I lengthened my time of training underneath that load, and I was able to improve. And that led to a PR in my half marathon, and I was pleased. But I learned a lot about VO2 max testing along the way. And I knew that I wanted to bring this into my program because it would help shed light on everyone's personal individual information. So VO2 max is the amount of oxygen uptake that you have in a graded exercise test. And we look at each level and how many milliliters of oxygen are you able to utilize? Like, how much oxygen are you able to utilize to create energy to do the things you want to do? And that is directly correlated to how you feel in activity. So I know this, it's going to decrease by 1% a year, 10% over 10 years, 10% over 10 years. And right now I'm 63, but 15 years ago, do the math. If I waited to make sure that I had optimal VO2, in 10 years, I would have decreased by 10%, meaning that by the time I'm 70 or 80, getting up out of a chair might be such an event, such an intensity of exercise energy required, that my cardiovascular system couldn't keep up. It represents also how your mitochondria, where the energy is produced, how they're doing. And so through these last 15 years, I've been able to develop a strategy with my clients where we take a look at their VO2. Now, I've only had a machine for the last 5 years, but it took me a while to understand the data and get it to where I could implement it. Athletes have been using VO2 Max for a long time. It took me a while to understand the data, how to implement into an everyday person's life. And over the last 5 years, now almost 6, I've been using a VO2 device, and we hook people up to an oxygen sensor, and we take a look at their carbon dioxide and their oxygen as they ride a bike. With that information, I know a little bit about their cardiopulmonary system, their mitochondria, their metabolism, their nervous system. And we can create customized programs that eliminate random cardio. And when you eliminate random cardio, results begin to happen. You no longer just guess when you get on the whatever device you're using, or you're running, or you're biking, or elliptical, or whatever it is. You use your own VO2 metrics that will progress you, and you will get results. VO2 max is always improvable, always improvable. And once you figure out how much oxygen do I use every minute, what are my muscles, what are they up to? What do I want to do? Do I want to run a half marathon? Do I want to squat? Do I want to be super fit when I'm 70, 80, and 90? Whatever your goal is, the VO2 is at the crux of that, because bodybuilders, swimmers, triathlon people, runners, we all need oxygen to produce energy to do the thing we want to do. And with that in mind, if we can look at your VO2 and say, oh, you're 10 milliliters below standard for your age group, here's how we're going to fix that. And we customize a program for you to fix it. All you have to do is the work. Now, that's for another video. Mindset and implementation and consistency and commitment, those are all different issues. But once you know your customized program, I've never had anyone that did the work that did not improve. Okay, now that's a biggie. They have to do the work. But I've never had anyone that did the work that didn't improve. And so when we put them back on the VO2 device and recheck their numbers, I just did someone that is 76 years old. We did a VO2 1 year ago. Okay, 1 year ago. She's 76 years old. So she's 1 year older, but biologically, she's 2 years younger than last year. She's 2 years younger. Okay, that is amazing news. Just think what we could do with your VO2 max for improvement on becoming, proficient at anything, weightlifting, running, biking, living. You need oxygen to create energy for any activity that you do in life. Life is a sport. And the more oxygen that you can uptake at the muscular level and use to create energy in the mitochondria, the better your life will be. Proven, done. Science, we don't need to discuss it. That is the science. So if you're looking to start a performance or an improvement journey where you're bettering yourself, go to somewhere in your area and get a VO2 test. And if they can do a VO2 test, I'm positive they can interpret it for you. I do at least 100 of these VO2 tests every year. I'm very clear on the data today. Not that there's not more to learn. There's always so much more to learn. I'm constantly on a podcast with the creators of my device, learning about what different pieces of data might mean to that client. But first step, find someone who can conduct a VO2 test for you. Get your VO2 test. Oxygen is the driver of all activities because you need to create energy for anything that you want to do in life. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I must have energy to be able to do this. And so with that in mind, it is so logical that you get a VO2, look at your numbers, get a customized cardio program, and then never do random cardio again. It's a waste of time. And this is what the fitness industry is not telling you. This is where you should start. Random cardio is just a complete waste of time. And heart rate based by age is okay, but there's nothing like getting your own report based on your oxygen, carbon dioxide, and what your body is doing. There's no other, that is the gold standard. So if you need help finding someone in your area, let me know, and I will search it out and see if I can get someone lined up for you. I'm Debbie, creator of Transform You Challenge, and I hope that this was a little eye-opening in terms of where to start when I want to lose weight, get fit, perform better, live life better. Have a great day.